Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, man. So I'm gonna talk about this while I take this drive. This will not be a very long live stream. I know I always say that, but this one definitely will not be a long one. Um, see Charles Martin. I'm gonna start off with Charles Martin, man. Now I know when you guys first seen this title, you know what I mean. Probably didn't catch the "and" in between the two. All right, I fell off. Now I'm back on. I don't know how my server's gonna keep up, man. I don't even know where I left off at, but Charles Martin will be back July 13th in my neck of the woods in Minneapolis. He'll be taking on Daniel Martz. Let me make this quick, man, for this damn phone keeps going in and out. But he'll be taking on Daniel Martz July 13th here in the Armory or at the Army here in Minneapolis. All right, Gerald Washington and Robert Helenius is also on that card. Shit, I wouldn't mind seeing him fight the winner out of that fight. You know what I mean? Or I could see Charles Martin trying to get the winner out of like a Areola versus Konowski. Maybe get Konowski in a rematch. Areola wins. Maybe Areola matches that you can make, man. You know what I mean? Just stay busy. His last fight, he was in there with Gregory Corbin, and he was able to get the victory. Disqualification, but I thought he was winning the fight. Despite that, he was aggressive. Even in the Konowski fight, he was aggressive. He came to fight. He turned it up late in the fight. I thought had he started a little bit earlier and was catching Konowski with just would be if he was a little bit more active. I thought he could have really made a run to probably, get a draw or win that fight. But I had Konowski winning that fight 6-4, although he came on late, Charles Martin. All right, so, hey, man, Charles Martin, like I said, after the AJ defeat, you just need to get back in there. And the next time you do get in there, make sure you give it all you got. You know what I mean? Go out on your shield if you have to. I know that's easy for us to say. You know what I mean? Tell these fighters to go in there and go out on your shield. But shit, great fighters do it all the time. Even guys that aren't considered great, man. It's just, it's up to you and up to your heart in there. But do that. Keep winning. That's the main thing. Keep winning. And, win, lose, or draw, man, go over there and give it all you got. So, and AJ also taking a defeat himself. I think that, a lot of people won't forget what they saw the night he fought AJ, but I think it's kind of getting forgotten a little bit. And you just got to keep fighting, keep winning, keep going in there, showing heart, and being an exciting fighter, man. And people will forgive you for that shit. Just keep fighting. You know what I mean? Well, some people won't. They'll just keep holding that against him. You know what I mean? No matter what he does, probably going forward. All right. But for me, that's what I think he needs to do. All right. So that's good that Charles Martin. Now the opponent though, Daniel Martz. Daniel Martz. Last time, most of you probably seen him. He was getting sparked by Luis Ortiz. I know he also got beat by Jennings, and Joseph Parker also beat Daniel Martz. He's a 6'8" dude, 240-pound dude. Stands straight up. He's the type of dude that he really doesn't fight on the outside, really doesn't fight on the inside. He gets caught up in that mid-range a lot, and usually when he steps up in he also lost to Alexis Santos. He actually beat him too due to an injury. Then he got beat by him in a rematch, Daniel Martz. But I expect Martin to go in there and take care of business against Daniel Martz. But yeah, most of you probably last seen him against Luis Ortiz. He has had a few fights since then. I think he fought Luis Ortiz the end of 2017. That was when Wilder and Ortiz first started their whole thing, trying to get a fight, things like that. So I believe it was that fight. Was it that fight or was it Kajana? It was one of them fights, man. But I think it was that fight. But so yeah, Martin's going against Daniel Martz, man. Easy, should be an easy win. But we'll see. All right. And then Ugonoh, man. Been waiting for this dude, man. He's taking on Lucas Rozansky. Now, I broke down some Rozansky footage like a mad scientist. You know what I mean? I watched pretty much everything there is to watch of him on YouTube. Even watched 2015 promo video that he had. Show some amateur clips and all that type of thing. Watched his training, watched him spar, watched him fight Michael Sprott. Right? I watched everything on YouTube, man, today. All right, and what I see, he comes forward. He's a come forward type of guy. He wants to move his head. He presents that style when he's training. Bob and weave, move my head, a la Tyson, Frazier, Dave Toole. Guys like that. All right, but when it's fight time, though, sometimes he doesn't move his head and he comes forward like a plotter. He just wants to exchange. He can get very eager to, want to exchange punches and chase you down. All right, so that's one thing Ugonoh would not have to worry about is chasing somebody around the ring because this dude's going to come straight to him. All right, he's 10-0 with 10 stoppages. He's only won 4 rounds once. And the most notable journeyman I recognized on his resume was Michael Sprott, a very old, war-torn Michael Sprott. But he went in there and did exactly what you need to do against an older, war-torn type of guy. Get him out of there quick. All right, so besides that 4 rounder, man, he's only, he usually goes 1 round or 2 rounds. He comes forward. He was fighting a guy, what was the dude's name? Tot or Rock or something. I forgot the dude's name, man. You guys know, if you see his name, you'll see it on YouTube. But the dude caught Rosansky with a quick 1-2 down the middle as he was standing straight up trying to be aggressive. And that right there let me know that Izzu can land that punch, man. Now, Rosansky, they on BoxRec, they don't have his height and weight, but just the eye test, he looks around. Sprott's about 6'1", 6'2", so this guy has to be maybe 6 feet, somewhere in there, maybe 240 pounds. You know what I mean? He comes forward with the high guard, wants to throw the jab, but he really wants to throw overhand rights, left hooks. He's one of those type of fighters. He wants to do it in close. He likes to step around sometimes and work combinations. He's that type of fighter, man. Your typical, like a Povetkin type of dude. You know what I mean? That type of style. All right, I'm not saying he's Povetkin, but that type of style. My thing is once he huff and puff and try to blow the house down within the first couple rounds, um, how would his stamina hold up? And that's where I think he's going to get caught. First of all, I think Izzu just a better fighter than a period, but I think once a dude tries to come in there and be really aggressive, and once he feels the power of Ugonoh, I think he'll back up. I think Izzu will keep him honest, and then I think he'll be a sitting duck to get taken out later on in the fight. Last time we seen Izzu, he was in the ring with Fred Cassie. Fred Cassie quit in that fight. He didn't want no more. Kind of disappointed, man, because Fred Cassie can be a guy that can be a tricky guy to try to figure out in the ring. Sometimes when he fights, he can switch from lefty to righty. So it's kind of disappointing the way that fight ended. But it's not Izzu's fault. But this is Izzu's only his second fight since that war he had with Dominic Brazil, man. You know what I mean? He kind of lost the steam and his esteem and his traction, man, because he was gaining ground. People were getting to know him, and even though he lost to Brazil, it was very entertaining. People still wanted to see him again. You know what I mean? I know he took some time off. He had some things going on, getting his mind right, getting his body right. But man, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind, man, because he was one of the blue chip prospect guys I had around like 2016 going into 2017. With guys like Sergey Kuzmin and Adrian Ganrat. Now some of those guys have lost fights, a couple fights. You know what I mean? Ajay Caballero, guys like that who I had him rated with. But those guys have continued to stay active and picked up big wins. Caballero has beaten Chisora since then, so on and so forth. I guess Izzu had his chance to try to beat Brazil and he came up short, but he dropped him. He showed good technique in that fight. He showed that he can hang with the big boys up in there. You know what I mean? But I did see some, but yeah, he's been inactive, man. It's only his second fight. Rosansky, this is like since that time that Ugonoh fought Brazil back in beginning of 2017, this is Rosansky's like 5th or 6th fight. He's only had 10 fights, but it's like his like 4th or like 5th or 6th fight, where this is Ugonoh's second fight, man. And that fight with Cassie was it was disappointing. Not to blame Izzu, but a 2-round fight that he was really getting warmed up in. That's pretty much only action he's had. Now, one thing about Izzu, he is a gym rat and he stays in shape physically. All right. But still, though, you need the work. You need to, get them fights under you, get them training camps. All right. If you guys go on Ring Polska, their channel, I think, yeah, Ring Polska, Polish boxing channel. They got clips of Izzu Ugonoh training with his, trainer's new trainer, and the head movement looks good. That's one thing I was looking at is about his head movement. His head movement looks good. He was working the pads again. It's the damn pads, right? Anybody could look great on the pads. Well, not everybody. I see some dudes look horrible on pads, but he looks pretty good on the damn pads. Looks quick, looks sharp and powerful. But they're working on moving his feet and his head movement, man. So I thought in that Brazil fight, what was tiring him out was the unnecessary movement that he was doing. I thought a couple times he could have just stand flat-footed, or at least just at distance, and just moved his upper body and not so much just bouncing around, going left to right, bounce. I mean, just exerting a lot of energy, man. Not too many people can fight at that rhythm and that pace all the time. And I think Iju should mix it up, not try to be this, like a Larry Holmes Ali type. Although it's beautiful to watch, and I know a lot of people want to mimic that all the time. That's very hard to keep up, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can just bend your upper body and get out of the way of punches and counter and parry like that. You don't necessarily need to move around the ring, move around the ring, move around the ring. I thought he was doing a lot of unnecessary stuff against Brazil with his movements. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it was nervous energies. I'm not sure, but he was able to hurt Brazil in that fight. You know what I mean? We know how it turned out, but that was a very exciting fight. One of the best heavyweight fights in the last, 4 or 5 years, in my opinion, man. But yeah, they're back in action, man. Charles Martin, Ugonoh. I'm driving, so I can't see none of the comments, man. Didn't have time to do a traditional upload, so I decided just to go live real quick so I can get this up. Iju, if he wins this fight, because this fight's going to be in Poland, so if he wins this fight, I'm not sure if he has connections with the PBC still or not, but if he wins this fight, which I think he should, I think he should go to the UK or the US. I think it's kind of, and try to get some fights. You know what I mean? You got Dave Allen out there fighting David Price. Winner of that fight, you got Spilka, a native Polish guy, fighting Takum, or not Takum, sorry, but Chisora. Maybe get the winner of that. Or come back over to the US, man. Hey, Dominic Brazil got to rebuild. You know what I mean? I didn't hear Dominic Brazil say that he retires or anything like that. See if he wants to run that back. And Brazil seems like the type of guy that'll take this type of fight. You say what you want about him, you know what I mean? But he does seem like the type of dude that would take this type of fight, like a make or break. I got Ugonoh again. If I lose this fight, people want to say I'm done, I'm washed up. You know what I mean? If I win this fight, I can beat the guy again, so on and so forth, things like that. But I think Dom would probably take that fight, especially in the situations he's in now, where you got beat by Wilder in the first round. That's 2 title shots you've had. You got to work your way back in there, man. You know what I mean? And it could be like a crossroads fight. You know what I mean? But if that don't happen, you guys know all the fights that are going on, man. There's, get in where you fit in. You got Ajay Caballel out there. Carlos Takam is out there. I mean, there's a slew of guys out there that you can fight, man. If he wants to really jump in the water and try to test some of these other guys who I think kind of passed him up as far as up-and-coming rising guys because of his inactivity since 2017, like a Philippe Herkovic and Joe Joyce. You got Joe Joyce get ready to fight Brian Jennings, so that's a good opportunity for Martin or Ugonoh to go after those guys. Or hell, how about Charles Martin versus Ugonoh? You know what I mean? But yeah, man, just wanted to drop this quick one. I appreciate y'all showing up, man. I'll catch these chats, these messages in the archives, man. I appreciate it, y'all. I'm gone.